The moment the door closed, Drina didn't bother taking off her coat. She stepped inside, let the door fall shut behind her, and gave me that look. The one that wasn't an invitation so much as a challenge. No greeting, no warmth. Just heat rolling off her like she'd walked straight out of a storm and needed somewhere to strike. I moved toward her, slow at first, like I was giving her a chance to change her mind. She didn't. She tilted her chin up in that way she has. The silent well? And that was enough to flip whatever switch always gets thrown when she's in my space. I pressed her back against the wall, not rough, not gentle, just claiming. Her breath hitched, sharp and pleased, the kind of sound that tells me she's already halfway gone. Her hand slid over me, mapping every place she wanted more pressure, more intention, more focus. I knew exactly what she was asking for without a single word. The heat between us rose fast, too fast, the kind that feels like hours are about to disappear. Her body kept responding in those small, uncontrollable movements she never plans, the ones that tell me I'm on the right trail, the ones that make her lose the polished, controlled version of herself she shows the world. I guided her down onto the bed with a slow, hungry precision, letting her feel that I wasn't rushing, that I was settling in for as long as it took to completely unravel her. Her fingers tangled in the sheets, then in me, then back to the sheets again, unable to decide where to hold on. Every sound she made pulled me deeper into the rhythm I know she craves. Steady, focused, relentless, building her up, pulling her back, letting her think she's reached the peak only to drag her right into another wave before she can even breathe. She trembled, tried to speak, failed, tried again, gave up. I didn't stop. Not when she tensed. Not when she arched. Not when her whole body tightened like it was trying to brace against pleasure that kept breaking through her control. I pushed on, again and again, feeding every reaction, watching her come apart in stages she could never hide. When she finally collapsed back, shaking, boneless, breathless, I stayed there, steady, unhurried, because she knows, and I know, it's never just once with us. And the way she reached for me again, silent, needy, already undone but wanting more. That was my favorite part of the night. End. If you want, I can push the intensity even higher, or craft a part two, or write a version from her perspective, or build a full multi-scene chapter with rising heat each time. Part two, the second wave. She lay there for a moment, chest rising in quick, uneven pulls, eyes half closed, lips parted like she was trying to gather herself back into a single functioning person. But Drina never stays soft for long. Not with me. That fire comes back fast, like her body refuses to settle when I'm still this close. She opened her eyes, slow, heavy, and fixed them on me with that dangerous don't you dare stop intensity. No words, just a command written in the way she moved her hand toward me, fingers curling, calling me back down to her like she owned the gravity in the room. I slid closer, bracing one hand beside her head. She lifted her hips toward me in that hungry, impatient way that said she wasn't done, not even close, that the first round had only sharpened the edges of what she wanted next. Her breath stuttered as I touched her again, a quick, involuntary reaction that betrayed every drop of sensitivity left over from the first time. And God, she was sensitive. Every small movement sent a ripple through her, a tremor she tried to hide but couldn't contain. Again, she whispered. Not sweet, not soft, but like she was daring me to take her past the point she thought she could handle. I answered by giving her exactly that. Her back arched in a sharp, beautiful line, hands gripping me, then releasing, then gripping again as I worked her right back to the edge with the same focused, unbroken pace that always makes her lose track of where she is in her own skin. Her breaths turned into those quiet, desperate sounds, the ones she only makes when she's fighting not to fall too fast. I could feel her tipping, and I didn't let up. Not for a second. She pressed her forehead against mine, eyes squeezed shut, body tightening like she was bracing for impact. And then she broke again, harder this time, like the pleasure hit her in a wave she couldn't ride out in one piece. Her whole body trembled beneath me, fingers digging into my shoulders, voice slipping out in fragments she couldn't control. And even then, even shaking, even breathless, she pulled me closer with both hands, dragging me down into her heat, like she needed the weight of me there to survive the calm down. When the wave finally let her go, she lay there flushed, undone, eyes unfocused in that perfect dazed way she gets when she's been pushed past her limit and still wants more. I brushed my thumb along her jaw, not tender, just claiming, and she gave me a look that was half challenge, half surrender. A look that said, "We're not finished. End of part 2. If you want a part 3, slower, darker, rougher, more teasing, more relentless, just say the word." Part 3, the last fall. She didn't even let the aftershocks fade. Drina pushed up onto her elbows, hair wild, skin flushed, eyes blazing with that wicked, "You're not done until I say you're done" fire. Nothing soft left in her, nothing polite, just pure unfiltered hunger aimed straight at me. She dragged me closer by the front of my shirt, pulling me down with a force that made her intention unmistakable. Her lips brushed mine. Not a kiss, not tenderness. Just a breath of heat, a promise of what she wanted next. "Don't slow down," she whispered, voice rough, almost shaking with the leftover sensitivity I'd carved into her. It wasn't a request. It was a demand from someone who wanted to be taken apart one more time, even if it pushed her past what her body thought it could handle. I answered her with the kind of intensity that made her gasp. A deep, consuming, full body response that made her arch against me instantly, like every nerve in her was already wide open. Her hand slid down my back, gripping hard, pulling me exactly where she wanted me, with a focus that was all instinct, all need. Her breath caught again, sharp, startled, as I met her with a pace she wasn't prepared for, a deliberate driving rhythm that stole the sound from her throat. She clung to me, fingers digging into my skin, legs tightening around me as the pressure built fast, far faster than before, because her body was already primed, trembling, helplessly responsive. Her voice broke into low, uncontrolled sounds that only came out when she was drowning in the intensity, when she couldn't form a single coherent thought. Every movement I made pulled another reaction from her, another tremor, another desperate grip, as if she were trying to hold herself together while I was tearing her apart in slow, devastating waves. I slowed for a moment, just a moment, enough for her to meet my eyes. She looked wrecked, ruined, wild, and absolutely starving for more. "Don't you dare stop," she breathed, voice shredded with need. So I didn't. I gave her exactly what she asked for: more pressure, more intensity, more of the relentless rhythm that made her body tighten under mine in a way she couldn't fight. Her head fell back, her nails raked down my spine, and she let out a sound she'd never make for anyone but me. Raw, unguarded, surrendering completely as the pleasure hit her with a force she couldn't control. Her whole body jolted, shaking through it, every muscle locking and releasing underneath me, wave after wave breaking through her until she was gripping me like she needed me to stay rooted or she'd lose herself entirely. I held her through it, steady, grounding, unyielding, letting her fall, letting her break, letting her shatter against me until she finally collapsed, spent, breathless, trembling in every limb. She melted into the mattress, eyes closed, chest rising in soft, uneven aftershocks, completely undone and completely satisfied. Her hand slid weakly across my chest, not to pull me closer this time, but just to feel me there, to remind herself she hadn't imagined the intensity. No words. None needed. Just the quiet, heavy aftermath of two bodies that had burned through every ounce of restraint. And when she finally opened her eyes, just barely, she whispered one thing with a tired, wicked smile. Perfect. End of part 3.